Japan, the land of the rising sun, a place where ancient traditions meet futuristic innovation. But behind its dazzling temples and high-speed trains lies a story that spans thousands of years, full of emperors, warriors, artists, earthquakes, and revolutions. Buckle up, because we're about to dive into the entire history of Japan, from myth to modernity. Let's rewind time all the way back. Before there were samurai or sushi, there were gods. Japan's earliest origin stories come from two mythical deities, Izanagi and Izanami. According to the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki, Japan's oldest texts, these divine beings created the Japanese islands. Their daughter, Amaterasu, the sun goddess, became the spiritual ancestor of Japan's emperors. Sounds poetic, right? But let's move from legend to archaeology. By 14,000 BCE, during the Jōmon period, Japan was inhabited by hunter-gatherers. They weren't building empires, but they were making some of the world's oldest pottery. Pretty advanced for their time. Fast forward to the Yayoi period, 300 BCE to 300 CE. Rice farming arrives from the Asian mainland. Metal tools show up, and villages evolve into small kingdoms. One of them, ruled by Queen Himiko, gains mention in Chinese historical records. So yeah, Japan is finally on the map. As the Yayoi give way to the Kofun period, powerful clan leaders build massive burial mounds called Kofun. Japan is becoming more centralized. The Yamato clan emerges as dominant, and their descendants will eventually become the Japanese Imperial family. Yes, the world's longest-lasting monarchy? It starts right here. Japan borrows heavily from China and Korea during this time. Writing systems, Buddhism, Confucian ideas. It's a cultural glow-up. In 538, Buddhism officially arrives, and the ruling elites see its potential, not just spiritually, but politically. Welcome to Nara, Japan's first permanent capital. Modeled after China's Chang'an, Nara is where state Buddhism flourishes. Temples grow, statues rise, and the emperor is surrounded by both divine and bureaucratic authority. But then comes the Heian period, and things get fancy. The capital moves to Heian-kyo, modern-day Kyoto. Aristocrats write poetry, women pen literary classics. Ever heard of The Tale of Genji by Murasaki Shikibu? Written around 1000 CE, it's the world's first novel. But while the court is obsessed with aesthetics, real power starts slipping away. And now, swords out. Because the age of the samurai has begun. In 1185, the Genpei War between the Taira and Minamoto clans ends with a bang. The Minamoto win, and Minamoto no Yoritomo becomes Japan's first shogun. He sets up a military government in Kamakura, marking the start of feudal Japan. The emperor, still around, but mostly as a ceremonial figure. Real power now lies with the shogun and the warrior class. Mongol invasions under Kublai Khan threaten Japan in 1274 and 1281, but nature lends a hand. Typhoons smash the invading fleets. The Japanese call it kamikaze, divine wind. Then things get messy. The Ashikaga shogunate rises. Civil wars erupt. Rival warlords, daimyo, fight for control. Enter the Sengoku period, the Warring States era. It's Game of Thrones, but with more swords and less dragons. Japan's chaos doesn't last forever. 3 men change everything. Oda Nobunaga, ruthless warlord who begins unifying the country. Toyotomi Hideyoshi, peasant-born general who finishes most of the job. Tokugawa Ieyasu, the man who finally secures peace at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600. In 1603, Tokugawa becomes shogun. And just like that, the Edo period begins. After centuries of warfare, Japan finally enjoys peace. For over 250 years, the Tokugawa shogunate rules from Edo, modern-day Tokyo. Foreigners? Not welcome. The shogunate enforces a policy of sakoku, isolation. Only a few Dutch and Chinese traders are allowed in through Nagasaki. Culturally, this period is rich: kabuki theater, ukiyo-e prints, haiku poetry. Think samurai meets Shakespeare. But under the surface, trouble brews. In 1853, U.S. Commodore Matthew Perry shows up with black ships, demanding Japan open its ports. The shogunate, shaken, agrees. But this angers many Japanese who see the shoguns as weak. In 1868, rebels restore power to the emperor in what's known as the Meiji Restoration. Modernization kicks in fast. Feudalism is abolished. Western tech and fashion are embraced. Factories, railways, armies, all modeled after Europe. Japan goes from swords to steam engines in just a few decades. By 1905, Japan defeats Russia in the Russo-Japanese War. The world is stunned. An Asian nation beat a European power? The age of Imperial Japan has begun. Japan's ambitions grow. They annex Korea, invade Manchuria. Then, full-scale war in China. World War II pulls Japan deeper into conflict. In 1941, Japan bombs Pearl Harbor. The US enters the war. What follows is brutal. Island-hopping campaigns, fire bombings, the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. The war ends. Japan is devastated, millions dead, cities in ruins. Under US occupation, Japan rewrites its constitution. The emperor becomes symbolic. Militarism is dismantled. And then, the miracle. In just a few decades, Japan rises again. The 1964 Tokyo Olympics symbolize its comeback. By the 1980s, Japan is a tech and economic powerhouse. Think Sony, Toyota, Nintendo. It's a new kind of empire, built not on conquest, but innovation. The 1990s bring an economic slump. The bubble bursts, but Japan adapts. It becomes a leader in pop culture. Anime, manga, video games, they go global. At the same time, Japan wrestles with challenges: an aging population, natural disasters like the 2011 Tohoku earthquake, and political instability. Yet, Japan remains unique, balancing ultra-modern cities with ancient temples, tradition with tech, order with innovation. From divine myths to mecha robots, Japan's journey is one of resilience, transformation, and identity. It's not just a country, it's a civilization that redefined itself over and over. And through it all, the rising sun keeps rising. If you enjoyed this epic journey through time, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Drop a comment. What part of Japan's history fascinates you most? Until next time, arigato, and see you soon.